Hello everybody, welcome to today's Totally Beads Live. Hopefully all is okay and I've got my normal setup and my sound back. So I'm going to be making some little beaded earrings with you today. I've called them the Yvette pearl earrings. We're using two colours of pearls in each of the designs. And there's there's numerous different ways you can make with them really. If I just bring my mat up so you can have a little look. You can see, as well as all the colours to choose from, there's different ways around that you can make these. So you can invert your colours, so you've got the darker colours on the inside or the darker colour on the outside. And you can make them as two little diamond sections, or you can make them in three little diamond sections, or however many you want. Given the fact that you can repeat this little diamond motif, you can of course make a little bracelet up with them if you wanted to. Obviously you would need to increase your materials. But after I'd made all of them up, I then noticed that on my last go, I completely changed the design again, and they don't go fully in. I've kind of repeated that link. So you can also do them this way around. There's lots of different ways that you can work with them. I'm going to be using a nylon thread today, which is a 0.25. You can use whatever you want. I wouldn't suggest tiger tail. I think tiger tail will be a bit too stiff, but you could use a threading material if you wanted to. I like using the nylon because it's strong and it's invisible. You can't see it, so you won't see any of the kind of thread path that I'm weaving. And of course I can tie it in a little knot at the end as well. So I've got two different colours of pearls, but they're all the same size pearl, and there's lots and lots in your kit. So I would imagine your kit makes up at least two pairs of earrings in either design that you choose. So I will take you over to the website very shortly and I will show you how that works. Let me say a quick good morning to those that are just coming in to join us. Good morning to Jan. She says good morning, Natalie, and everybody from a sunny Sudbury. It is beautifully bright today, really nice. It is still cold out, but it's lovely and bright here in Merseyside, so near Liverpool where I am from. I'm hoping the sun is fully on its way. It's meant to be really nice tomorrow. It's meant to be quite warm tomorrow, but then I think we're meant to be getting rain again over the weekend. Good morning to Rachel. She says she's in a bright and sunny Barrow, so the sun is shining everywhere. Good morning to Camille, who's got lovely blue skies. Susan is in as well. She says good morning, Natalie and everybody. Good morning to you, Susan. Hello to Anastasia. She says peace and love, Natalie. How are you and your family members doing? We're all well, thank you very, very much, Anastasia. We got some good health news this week, so that's all you can ask for in life, isn't it? Hello to Celia. She says, good morning, first live in months. Thank you so much for joining me. Wow. Helena is in. She says, hi from Sweden. Hello to you. Thank you so much for joining me. And Judith is in as well, and so is Sheila. So everybody's saying hello to each other in the chat, which is absolutely lovely. Heather is in. She says, hello, I'm a fellow Liverpudlian. Whereabouts are you from, Heather? Can you tell me? I'm from Highton originally, and live near Prescott now. So, well, I'm in Prescott now, so kind of on the outskirts. Good morning to Camille, who's saying it's nice to be here on a Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. Anne is in as well, and she's in a sunny Yorkshire. So hopefully wherever you're watching from, the sun is out and shining, unless you're Barbara. She says, good morning, still dark here in Pennsylvania. Hoping for some rain. We're having a drought here. Well, I love to hear where you're all watching from. I love to hear what you're making and what you like to make and what you've been doing. It's nice to have your company with me today. So I'm going to take you over to the website. Chilwell, okay, lovely. Me and Heather are just having a little chat. Fab. Used to go to the dentist down there, Heather. Right, okay, so we are going to go onto the website, which is totallybeads.co.uk, and here you can find your kit. Do you know, I feel so much more in my comfort zone now. My camera and everything is mine. I love Kitty's setup, but it all kind of I love the room, but I can't get used to her camera and zooming in and out. Mine's very basic, but it does the job, I'm hoping. So here, in fact, Yeah, I'm okay to leave those two little ones up, aren't I? Heather's having her first live. Yay, welcome. And good morning to Linda, who's in a very sunny and warm Watford. Just ready for spring. So if you are new to us or this is your first live, the way I tend to do it is say a little chat and I say hello and we talk about the weather and I tell you what we're making and I take you over to the website and I show you all the different ways you can get into our video tutorial section and I will show you the make that we're working on today. Today is the Yvette pearl earrings. You can see there's loads of colours. I did intend to just do one design and then I made two and then I made three and then I thought, oh, they'll look completely different if I swap the colours around. So I've made 3 samples for each colour. So we've got the buttermilk and olive, we've got caramel and burgundy, we've got gold and magenta, we have ivory and pink, we've got silver and purple, and we've got the white and blue as well. They're all £3.99, so for less than £4 you can make up 2 pairs of earrings in whichever style you want. You're going to get everything you need to make. In terms of tools, I'm doing it all by hand. You could use a needle with it if you wanted to. I tend to find that the nylon's stiff enough for me to be able to just run it back through the beads, so I tend not to use any tools apart from a little pair of chain nose pliers when I open up my earring hook at the very end to attach, and a little pair of cutters to just trim off any excess nylon thread or whatever thread you choose to use. So it's all done by hand. £3.99, you're going to get everything you need in your kit. So I'll show you very quickly what's inside. So these are the buttermilk and the olive. It's making 2 pairs of earrings up in either of the designs, so you can use whichever colours you want. That looks a bit twisted on the mat. I should photograph that a bit better, shouldn't I? So you're using the glass pearl rounds, our nylon thread and our earring hooks. That's all you need. In terms of your colour in this one, I'm using the 3mm pearls, and they're both 3mm in size, the same size pearls. I'm just using it's a 0.25mm nylon, which will be included. So I think you probably need about 40 is too much, 30 centimetres of nylon thread per earring, which is about 12 inches. So 60 centimetres for a pair, 24 inches for a pair of earrings, depending on which way round you work. So I'm using the 3mm pearls in these ones. I've got those gorgeous buttermilk and I've got the olive as well. And you can see they look really, really different depending on which way round you want to use the colours. And then you can just repeat that pattern for as many times as you want to. I'll demo, we'll see on time. I might just demo the smaller version, but I will talk you through it. It works exactly the same. You're just making that extra triangle, little diamond, not triangle, diamond shape. So they're how your buttermilk and olive look, and they are on the champagne ear wires. We've got these lovely caramel and burgundy. Again, I'm using the 3mm pearls in both of those colours. They're going to be on the champagne ear wires, I think, as well. So you can choose how you want those colours. You could do them all in one colour as well if you wanted. I just like having a centre bead to be slightly different, just to give it kind of like a little focal point. You've got the gold and magenta. Don't know whether to demo with these today. They might show up quite clearly, or I'll do the white and the blue. So these are your magenta, again, really different looking, exactly the same earring, but just depending on what colour you want to be more prominent. That's how those ones look. They are on the gold earring wires, which are nickel free, and they're also included in your kit. These ones I've put on the rose earring hooks, and they're quite subtle in terms of the colour. I'll show you them down on the mat. So I've got pink ones on the outside here, and then the ivory ones on the outside on those ones. I figured you'd see how they looked. These are the exact colours I'm using, ivory and pink in the 3mm. And we have the silver and the purple. Now this one, I didn't do the full step up, I just looped round against from the top. So this is kind of making more of kind of a squashed arrow shape. So you can do that instead if you prefer the look of those. And lastly, we have the white and the blue. They're really straightforward to make. If you are new to beading, then I'm your girl, because I don't do any complicated stitches. I suppose this is just kind of like a right angle weave. Really straightforward. It won't take you long to make those earrings in whichever design that you choose. So they're all £3.99 today. We do ship worldwide, so obviously it will take account of your shipping and things like that when you're ordering, but we do ship worldwide. So anything you want, if you want to just get a little bit of design inspiration, then stay tuned. You're happy to just watch along. If you do want to get the kits and you want to make exactly what I'm making, then here they are on totalybeads.co.uk. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. And I'll head back quickly into the comments. Jan's welcoming Heather, as is everybody else. She says she's new to beading and I can't wait to try. We do all sorts, Heather. So if you get very competent and very, you want a more challenging make, then Kitty does the most amazing stitch beading jewellery. My specialty is wire work, so I love working with wire, but I do a little bit of chainmail, I do macrame, anything with beads, then I'll give it a go. If you want to look back, we've got on the website hundreds and hundreds of tutorials. As I was speaking down at the warehouse this weekend, I have worked now for 4 years almost with Totally Beads. So given the fact that I do 2 lives a week, and Kitty and Laura will do a live a week as well, we've got loads on there. And during lockdown, they did one every single day, Monday to Friday. So there's all sorts of lovely makes. You can choose whatever you want to do. If you want to make a pair of earrings, if you want to make a bracelet, there's lots of different techniques to help you along the way. We're a lovely bunch, lovely group. So if you've got any questions, you're always free to ask. No one is ever mean about a make unless you ask for a critique, and we'll always try and offer you a little bit of help and advice. But it is I am biased, but it's the loveliest making group on the internet. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook as well. So Anna is in bright sunny Perth, Kim's in a sunny Essex, sunny and cold for Joanne, Lane saying sorry she's late, you've not missed anything. Do the white and blue, I like that one, says Camille. Okay Camille, I will do that just for you. Thanks Barbara, says I've made so many great projects from you lovely ladies. And Heather says she's going to have a little look at more tutorials. Heather, can I ask just a random question? And I don't know how you're going to answer me because I'm going to read it the same. I say projects, and a few people have kind of called me out on it and said that's the American way of saying it. We should say projects, but I say projects. Is it the Liverpool sound of an O, like book and book and cook and cook? Or is it just me? Just want to know. Linda saying, welcome to your friendly group. Okay, let's get making, because that's what you're here for. So again, down on the mat, I just want to show you quickly the difference in the colourway with the, have we paused? Oh, Heather, you'll get used to this. There's always a drama with my tech. Which is such a pain. Are we on? Yeah, we are. Just bear with me. I'm the wrong way round. Wasn't the best start, was it? I was going, oh, I made up that I'm back in my own space. What is that? That's not what I need. What is this? There we go. Are we back? Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so difference between the pink on the outside and the ivory on the outside. You can see the colour a little bit better there. I might put a dark mat down just so you can see my nylon thread. So let's make some space, and let me get my mat out. I want to be able to see the comments. I'll pop that down, a bit of a darker surface so you can see my nylon a little bit more clear. Where are my comments? There you are. Good morning, Yolanda. I know, Camille, I spoke too soon, didn't I? Right, I'll just keep tapping my screen and giving it a little wobble every now and again. So I've taken 30 centimetres or 12 inches of my nylon thread, and I've just give it a stretch. When you take it off the reel, it can be quite curly. So I've just give it a little stretch. You can put it in warm water and that will kind of take the curls out. You can see it's still curled at the end, but it doesn't matter too much. It's just I find it easier to work with. So I give it a little bit of a stretch. It's got that lovely stretch to it as well. It's not fully stretchy like elastic, but it's got that little give in it and it's nice and strong. So I'm going to choose my colours, or Camille's going to choose my colours for me. We're going for the blue and the white. And I'm going to do it so I've got the lighter colour on the outside. I'm going to do it this way round. You can do whatever you want. If you want to do with the darker colour on the outside, like this one, then start with the darker colour. But the way I'm going to speak it through, I'm going to refer to it as light and dark. So you just need to... Heather says it's the Scouser, yay! So you can do whichever you want, just kind of reverse what colour I'm saying. I'll call it white and blue, it's probably easier. So I've took my 30 centimetres of my nylon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 of the lights or the whites onto the centre. So I'm taking 3 of my 3mm beads. Doesn't matter what end that you want to work off. I'm just pinching those beads together so it's quicker to put them on. And I'm going to let them drop down towards the middle. A good way of finding your middle and your centre is bring your 2 ends up together and then they should fall fairly into the centre. It doesn't have to be exact. They are going to roll around on this mat though, aren't they? Then once I've popped my 3 white on the centre, I'm going to bring my colour bead in, which in this case is the blue. And I'm going to do a little technique with this to make a loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the bead onto one side of my nylon, and then I'm going to take the other side and I'm going to run it back in the opposite direction. So it's going through the same bead and the same drill hole. You see that? And then as I pull that down together, if it doesn't go to the middle, then you can just move from one side and you can slide it up. I've created that little loop, and that's going to be this first little 4 on the bottom here. So 3 of your one colour and then 1 going through the same bead in your opposite colour. I'm then going to add 3 of my light colours or my white colours after the colour. So I'm going to pop on my blue one onto one side. Just bear with me because that bead's rolling around. And then I'm going to take 3 of my white beads and I'm going to slide them on. So again, if you want to use a needle, you can use a needle with this, but I tend to find usually it's okay without. So I've got my blue and my 3 white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of the side that I've put the beads on, and I'm just going to bring that thread just up through the coloured bead, so the blue bead. And then if I pull that bead back towards the other blue bead, I'll pull that through and that will make another little loop. Now they will move around a little bit at the moment, but don't worry, as I put the others on, it will kind of hold in place and I'm going to start to get that diamond shape. If it does curl up a little bit as well, you can always kind of just bend your nylon. So if it's got a little bit of a twist in it, you can just give it a little fold and it will sit flat. Or you can pop it under like a little bit of a heavy book or something, and that will make sure they all lie flat as well when you've finished. So that's my tip if you do find that they don't quite sit fully flat. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to take a blue bead and thread that on. And then I'm going to take 3 white pearls again and slide those onto the same side. So it's like so. And then I'm just running up back through. So same tail end that the beads are strung on. We're going to go up through. So they go through the bottom of the bead. So they're going kind of in the direction of the white ones that I've popped on. And if it needs moving along, then I'm just going to pull that in. So if I hold it like this, you can see I've just got those 3 little loops now. So you can pull them closer together. Now to join them up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my bright colours, so my blue colour in this case, and I'm going to pop it on one side. Doesn't matter which one, left or the right. And I'm bringing the opposite tail back through the same bead in the other direction. And then pulling those together. And you can see that's made my little first point of my diamond. And then to finish it off, I'm going to pop on my lighter colour onto each side, one onto the other side, and I'm going to draw that back together by adding another light colour onto one side and then bringing the thread back through the opposite direction. And that will complete my first little diamond. Just going to tap my screen just to make sure it's still on. There you go. So that is how I'm going to make each of my little diamonds. Essentially, if you wanted to, you could just have them like that. You don't have to make multiple ones. But to pop on my next one, I'm going to do a light colour onto each side. So a white bead onto the left tail. And a white bead onto the right hand side. I'm going to take it really slow, so hopefully you can follow along. And then I'm going to bring it back through the coloured one again. So going for the blue. I'm going to pop it onto one side. So in this case, it's the left, but it doesn't matter. And then bring in the right through. So both tails through the same bead, opposite direction. And that's going to start to make my next point of the triangle, or the diamond rather. So we've got to this stage here. And then just to repeat that, to make those extra little parts, I'm going to add on a colour. So my blue one onto one side. And 3 of the white ones onto the same side. And then I'm bringing the thread just through that blue one there. So that first blue one here that I put on, it's just going to go through that. So I'm taking the tail end and I'm sliding it on through. And then I just need to pull that loop so I can pull that bead down. And then the same onto this side. So one of my blue beads. It's really, really straightforward. I'm sure you'll be able to do it, no problem. And then 3 of the white beads. So just the same as what I've just done on the right hand side, and then taking the same thread and then bringing it up that first bead, that coloured one, and then we're back to that point again. And then I'm going to feed it back to join through another blue bead, or my inner colour. So onto one side and back through the other. Sometimes you can get a little bit of the colour on the beads, which might block the drill hole a little bit. So tend to just give the thread a little bit of a wiggle and it should come out the other side. So I'll take both ends and I'll give it a little wiggle. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of debris comes off. It just unblocks that hole so I can slide it through. If it needs adjusting, then just give it a little pull down to tighten up and get your tension a bit better. And then we're going to finish off that diamond point by popping my outer colour, so my white, onto each side. And then bringing it back through the outer colour. So going back through the white again. So bead on and thread travelling back from the other side in the opposite direction. So there you've got your double diamond. So if I was to make another one, I'd just repeat this process again. So I'd put one light onto each side, and then I would bring back through my blue or my inner colour. Then I would put my inner colour, so the blue, onto one side, 3 of the whites, draw back through that blue, do the same on the other side, and then draw back through the blue again. And then I can just repeat that. Now to finish off my earring, so if I've done 3 or 2 or however I want. Hello Shirley, how are you doing? Alison says it's fascinating how it comes together. And Barbara says they're very sweet with just one diamond shape. Well, you can do whatever you want with this. They do sit nice and flat as well. So, you know, you could have it as a little bracelet. If you wanted to make a little centre, you could do that as well. I want to make sure I've got a little top loop. I haven't cut that off yet. That was one that I did yesterday, so it'll be better to show you one like this. So to finish off and get that top loop in whichever size that you've done, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lighter colour onto each side, or whatever your outside colour is. So the same as the frame, really straightforward. One onto one side, one onto the other. And then I'm just going to tie them in a little knot. So I tend to do a surgeon's knot, but you could do a double knot, you could do whatever you want. So I'm just going to do an overhand loop. So I'm taking one through the centre. Hopefully you can see that on my mat fairly clearly. So crossing them over, bringing one through the centre and pull down, and that will join those together. and it'll be nice and even for me to just get a little ear wire through there. But I want to double it up, so I'm going to do it again. Only this time, instead of just bringing once through the middle, I'm going to bring it through the middle twice. So I've got 2 wraps round and give it a firm pull down. Now, because it's a nylon thread, you won't really see that knot at all because it will be invisible. And of course, when I add my ear wire over the top of it, that will hide it as well. You can see just by using the 2 diamonds, I've still got lots of thread left over, but it's always advisable to use more than you think you're going to need. That's why I say 30 centimetres, and I'll use 30 centimetres or 12 inches, whether I'm using a 2 diamond or a 3 diamond design, just because I don't want to be fiddling with little bits of thread. I want to have plenty left to pull that back through. So never cut off at your knot. We want to make it extra sturdy. So to do that, I'm just going to take each of the thread back through the beads. I'm not running back all the way through the thread path. I'm literally just taking one through that top bead that I added, and this one away from the knot through that bead that I added. And you can cut off there, or if you want to, you can go back through that bead in the middle. Although these are quite small glass pearls at 3mm in size, they do tend to have quite a good drill hole in them. So you should be able to get this nylon through it quite a few times if you need to. Obviously, when you've got a camera in front of your face, it doesn't always work. So you could pop a needle on it if you wanted to and just bring it through. There you go. Give that a little wiggle just in case there's anything blocking it. And I paused again, right at the end as well. Sorry. Well, we'll keep it this way round for now, because I'm right at the end. So all I'm doing is just bringing those threads away from the knot. You could tie them again if you wanted to, but that surgeon's knot at the top should be enough. And then I just need to cut away. So I'm going to come in with my cutters and I'm going to cut really close up. Do bear with me. Let me rearrange that screen because it's frustrating. Don't know why it keeps doing it. Bring back in right at the end as well. I was so close. I got lost with my make and I wasn't looking. So hopefully I was in shot and you could see. So I've just brought the threads back through. I'm going to come in nice and close with my cutters and I'm just going to cut the tail end off. And then I can cut that a bit closer actually, but for time I won't. And then with my ear wire, which will be included in your kits and are nickel free, I'm going to take a little pair of pliers, a little pair of chain nose, and I'm just going to lift up that little loop at the end. Doesn't have to be much, just a little bit. And then I can slide that on through between those top 2 pearls and close it back over. And there you have your little diamond earrings. So we've got lots and lots of colours for you today. Let's pop them back off the mat. So they are the white and the blue ones. They are called Yvette, Y-V-E-T-T-E pearl earrings. They're all £3.99 if you want to get the kits. Makes 2 pairs of earrings up in whichever colour option that you choose, whichever way round that you want, and also whether you want to do a double or a triple little diamond. So them ones here are the white and the blue. I've got the, slide them out the way, the silver and the purple, which are here. We have these look really different depending on how you contrast them, you know, which way round you put them. So these are the burgundy and the, what was it, caramel. So I started with the darker on the inside, but actually I think I prefer them that way round. Again, you know, you can have the same method of earring and technique, but depending on your outfit, you might think, oh, I'm wearing predominantly more one colour than the other. So you might think, I want more of a green, and then you can go for these ones here. And those ones are your buttermilk and olive green. Very nice and summery. We've got the magenta. Get the larger one out in the contrast so you can see. This one here is the magenta and the gold. Lovely coloured pearls. And what have I missed? The pink and the ivory of these. Let me check, it was ivory. Yeah, ivory and pink. So there you have your lovely earrings, really quite straightforward to make. Let me take that one down. Let me see in the comments what I've missed. Still not used to this. They've updated and I'm all over the place. Heather says she can't decide what colour what she prefers. Well, they are £3.99. So if you wanted to get one and have a go and see if you like it, I'm sure you can always come back and get another one. Alison saying it's a super hot and windy day. Did you say windy? Yeah, good big wind blowing in Cape Town. I hope you're staying safe. Barbara says laundry's going to have to wait. Think I need to make a pair of these. Thank you for your tutorial inspiration, Barbara. You're so welcome. You've inspired me because I've got a load of washing to do. I've unpacked, but I've not done my washing from the weekend, so I'm going to get that done. And I've got a massive box which has arrived that I put together at the warehouse, and there is a ton of stuff I'm going to sit and make. So we are going to move around a few of the up and coming tutorials that I had planned for various reasons. So I'm going to might make some bracelets today. I might do some layered necklaces. I've got plenty to be getting on with. So I don't know, Barbara, maybe my laundry can wait as well. Alison says, I would love to use this design for the centre of a bracelet. Absolutely easily done. You could turn it into a full square, but I think they would look lovely if you were to have it as a centre. If you wanted to buy two of the same kit, you could probably do a full bracelet, not just a centre of it, if you wanted to. Susan says, very pretty make, Natalie. Thank you. You're very welcome. Could I pop a pair in my ears so we can see? Oh, Kim, yes, why not? So in terms of measurements, if you were wanting the 3 diamonds, they work out to be around 2 inches in length. The one with the 2 diamonds is 1.25 inches, just shy of 1.5 inches. I will pop them in for you. I mean, let's face it, I think I should probably just pop in the ones that I've just made, shouldn't I? Well, I think the magenta's going to go with my cardigan today. Sorry, I'm just taking out my earring that is in my ear. How would I finish it off for a bracelet? I would probably, you'd be able to get a jump ring through here, through the very bottom point. So you could just attach a little jump ring through it and then you clasp, or you could add on a few of the beads and do a little loop on each end, and then you can attach it on that way. I like to use a jump ring, and I like to use a lobster clasp usually, but you could do whatever you like. Let's go for the long one as well so you can see the difference. I suppose it depends on your size. You could have a mismatched pair if you really wanted to. They're sweet, aren't they? And a really, really easy make. Alison says, I love that colourway, fabulous. Liking the green, says Heather. Very simple and pretty to make, says Rachel. Jan says, thanks, very cute. Shirley is saying, I'm still up all night crafting Christmas wreaths and Christmas centerpieces ahead of time. My goodness, you are really. But I suppose you got to get going, haven't you, Shirley? Heather says she's going to be trying them. That's brilliant. Heather, let me know how you get on. We have a handmade group, Totally Beads Handmade on Facebook. So if you want to join that as well, if you are on Facebook, you can always share the makes that you have made. They don't have to be Totally Beads stuff that you've made. You might just think, I want to show that off. You're always welcome to share your things in there. Gives us all a little bit of inspiration. Kentus Priest says these are beautiful. Thank you very much. Shirley says it would make a nice pattern for a bracelet too. Anastasia says very pretty. Don't know if I've missed any questions. As a bracelet, you could put bicones on each side, says Shirley. That's a good idea. And Barbara says, I'd make it as a focal for a bracelet on a stretch cord and maybe macrame. So everybody's got their own take on it, and that's what's lovely. You know, I could do something, you could think, well, she's done that, you need to do this. And yours could be using exactly the same things that I've done, but look completely different. And this is how we all support each other as makers. We need to bounce off each other for those ideas. Alison says, elegant and fabulous. I'd go with both lengths. And Sheila says, gorgeous earrings. So yay, she's joined. Well done, Heather. Thanks for being with us. So yeah, you can make both pairs of your earrings. So if you wanted to do a long version and a shorter version, you absolutely could. You're only going to get the ear wires in enough to make 2 pairs, but you might have some in your stash. You could, obviously, if you've got beads left over, you could do with whatever you like. Camille says, thank you, very cute. Nice to be in on a Wednesday. Have a lovely day playing with all your new beads. I'm going to be very busy. It's going to be more than today, that's for sure. Linda says, beautiful earrings and a quick make. Natalie, Kitty and Laura are all fantastic tutors. Thank you, Natalie, and have a good week. Thanks, Linda. That's really kind of you. We love what we do. We love being here. I love making with you, and I wouldn't do it if you weren't watching. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to be back on Monday. I am making on Monday. I think I'm going to do like the trellis technique, and I've got some gorgeous, beautiful, bright crackle beads that I'm going to be using. Shirley's asking what kind of new beads. Shirley, I put 46 different projects together, and each have got at least 6 colourways. So everything, if you can imagine it, I've probably got it. So yeah, I'm going to be back with you on Monday. Wednesday, I think I'm changing up one of the ideas that we were going to do, because we're waiting on some stock of new chain. So I'm going to be coming up with what I'm doing for that later. And then I've got some wire projects as well coming up, some beautiful bracelets, which I'm very excited about. Barbara's asking, what's the handmade group? If you click in the description at the bottom, whether you're watching me on my YouTube, which is Natalie Pattern Jewellery, or you're watching us on Totally Beads, there's a little link drop down to the different groups. But it should be called, on Facebook, it should just be called Totally Beads Handmade. And you can join us and you can share all your work there. So I hope to see you there, Barbara. Until then, have a lovely, lovely week. Oh, it is Wednesday today. I don't know what day we're on. I'm thinking, is it Monday? Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday today. I'll be back on Monday. Have a lovely week and have a lovely weekend, everybody. And